Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you. Great to have you along. Today with us, Coach Mica Estrada of girls basketball, and this episode brought to you by Anderson Flooring. Coach, at the time of taping this, we thought you'd be playing some games, but Muskogee ended up in the state tournament and asked if they could give their kids the opportunity to go watch that, and totally understandable. They'd go on to win that game over Stillwater. So it sets up now that you start your season right in the midst of district play against a pretty good team with Bixby.
Yes, yeah, Bixby's they're going to be a tough opponent. We've been getting the girls ready though for a while for them. Once we found out we weren't playing Muskogee.
Yeah, and extra preparation, and depending on when people watch this, you look at district play the rest through, and you got a tournament in here as well. So I mean, this is you get going really fast, and it's not like you're playing, tune-up games. You got good competition early in the schedule.
Definitely, yeah. We start out with a 4-game week, so it's definitely picking up really, really quickly.
Yeah, and talk about you got that this week, and then the tournament coming up later this week. What's the draw out there?
So we are going to Tahlequah and playing McAllister. They're always really pretty good. So it'll once again be a really tough matchup.
How ready are the girls to actually start playing somebody besides their own?
Oh, they were so bummed last week whenever they found out that Muskogee game got canceled. Yeah. So they are just chomping at the bit, ready to get going and excited.
And what have you found out about your team since the last time we talked? Because you haven't got a chance to get them out on the floor. You're ready to have that opportunity, but have you found any more out about your team?
Yeah, they are just so eager. They always amaze me at how eager they are as we get closer and closer. I think that they're excited and they just kind of take it up a notch, and just the focus that we've had the last week and a half has been really good. So they're just ready to get going and just impress me with how much so.
Well, and we know some of the players coming back that have played minutes, but when you get to this time, and even before you get on the floor the first time, you've practiced, you scrimmaged, who are the ones that maybe have earned some playing time this year out there on the floor?
So Peyton Miner, she has not in the past gotten a whole lot of time, but she's doing really, really well. Jenna Northcutt has really stepped up in the last few weeks and has earned considerable playing time. But we've got a lot of the younger girls that are just they'll get minutes here and there, but they've all just really stepped up and made it aware that they want a spot, and so everybody's been working really hard.
Yeah, and defensively, that's where Ponca City with girls basketball, which has had a lot of success, has really made its mark. You're going to get a tough game defensively when you play Ponca City. You're looking to continue that.
Yes, definitely. A lot of our game plan is tough defense, and we'll do what they give us. But our objective is to stop them from scoring or keep them as low as we can.
Yeah, and one of the things you look on that, one of the pluses, one of the things over the years that I know Coach Fincher didn't like, and I know it also made you maybe pull your hair out a little bit, turning the ball over. Yes. That's always a problem in basketball, but I know that you turned it over more than maybe the average team should, and that really could hold you back. So you've worked really hard on making sure everybody secures the ball and knowing when those teams pressure you, because they will. They know what this team's like, making sure you get the ball up the floor. And it's not just beating the initial pressure. It's once you get there to calm down and get the ball in the right spots. And that's the thing. It's like, we beat the press, let's celebrate. Well, they still pressure you once you get across half court.
Yes, so we've learned if we need to slow down a little bit. We've been preaching value the ball, value the ball. So for we started out, we were going to go. We were going to get it and go, and now we've definitely seen the pressure that's coming, obviously. So they've tried to slow it down, and they've done a really good job of getting set up in a half-court offense, not letting it fluster them. So I'm excited to see tonight with the level of physicality that Big C's going to bring, to see how we're going to do with that. But yeah. I think they'll be fine.
And that's the thing is physicality. I mean, you got a bunch of blue-collar girls. They're not afraid to get in there and mix. A lot of times you haven't had the size that maybe other teams have. Maybe the same this year, but Ponca's always had a group of girls that's not afraid to get in there and really, I guess you'd say, be physical. Yeah. And we've seen that. I think Kira Allison's a great example of that, right? I mean, she's not necessarily the biggest girl on the floor, but she's having to play a lot of times. And she's right in there rebounding and being physical and doing what she needs to do to help her team win.
Yeah, our girls have always shown a lot of grit and heart, and they want what they want, and they're going to go after it and do whatever it takes to kind of go get it.
Yeah. Well, when you look at your team overall, and now that Jacob, we had him on earlier, and he talked about his having the first game. You haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
So what's it like going in at the time of taping, going into what is your first official game?
A lot of excitement, a little bit of nerves, but mainly just excitement. I'm just so ready to see what the girls are going to do. I think I was actually more nervous last week, but after that game got canceled, now I'm just ready to get going, ready to get to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is. You thought you were going to play Friday, you're not. You're playing on Tuesday, so it's like you're nervous going into that. It's like, man, I just wish we'd have just got a chance to play. Now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But a lot of good teams. We got this district structure now. What do you think? I mean, you've seen some cross film with some scrimmages and stuff like that, but what do you think about the district layout and what it means for Ponca City with the 7 other teams you have in this district for girls basketball?
I think it's going to be all right. Ponca City's always just kind of been a little bit of a sleeper. People always underestimate us, don't want to play us really. But we've got that opportunity again this year to kind of sneak in some games that we're not technically supposed to win, but we have the confidence that we can actually take those games. So.
And what does it mean? Because you don't have to play the politics of it. Voting like had to happen, and that was something there was the I scratch your back, you scratch mine type stuff that was going on. You don't have to play that. Ponca, it's hard for Ponca to play that game as well on the island that they're on, and they're not in there in the metro schools. So having that pressure taken off, where it's like we just get to prove it on the floor, that has to be nice.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It makes it really nice just because of that fact that there's several games where we're not anticipated to win, and those are always just the most fun ones to kind of sneak up and take those. But yeah, it's definitely a plus, I think.
And last thing I want to ask you is, how have you adapted, and we'll see what happens in the game, to the new free throw rules? Because that's the big change. In fact, I remember we had problems first game of the boys. It was like scorekeeper, hey, we don't have that anymore. 5 fouls, it goes to double bonus, resets at the end of the quarter. How do you like that, and what do you think that does for the game, and how does that maybe help or factor into Ponca girls basketball?
So we've been telling our girls, like, this is the rule, get used to it, get ready for it, just because sometimes we've gotten in foul trouble in the past. So we're just going to try to cut them down and not have to worry about it necessarily. I think in the long run, I think it'll be better for us, just because our defense has been, it's always been pretty good, and we haven't been fouling quite as much this year. So I'm just going to take it as, hopefully we're not going to have to worry about it and just play on.
Well, no one-on-one.
Yes,
That's the thing is, like, we've looked up at times, and all of a sudden you're in one-on-one at the end of the first quarter, and then double bonus the rest of the way. The games can drag on,
yes, for
but
sure.
at the same time, it turns into a free throw shooting contest, and those have their places, but it shouldn't just be a free throw shooting contest. We don't just get on the floor to do that. So having it like this, I think, does help and evens it out and puts it more in the players' hands on the floor.
Definitely, yes, yeah. And it'll speed it up a little bit, and yeah, for sure.
All right, well, I can tell you're excited.
Yes.
And we'll see how this goes. But basketball season is here. And once again, Mike, I really appreciate the time. Thank you for coming in. We'll talk to you again, I know, in the future.
Yes, thank you.
All right, that is going to do it for this week's episode of Coach's Corner. It's been brought to you by Anderson Flooring. I want to say thanks to Chris running the cameras for us, editing everything up. Get out there and support basketball this year, whether it be girls or boys. Plenty of opportunities all the way through February. We want you to get out there and support the Cats and the Lady Cats. But thanks for watching this episode. And until next time, Jordan Woodruff saying, Go Cats.